Jitendra Awad, my first question is to you tonight. If you have a problem, why don't you go to court? Go to court. Why are you harassing passengers in peak season?
Well, there is something called a right of the employee also, and that is his constitutional right. He has every right to form a union given to him by the constitution, and as a union member he has every right to agitate.
But this is illegal.
Not just
your strike is illegal.
That is, you just cannot yeah, the strike is never legal as when you go to the court of law. Oh. The agitation which we are doing, the court has not commented anything against the agitation. And secondly, we have not got the written orders in our hand. We will comment legally only after we have the written orders.
Mr. Awad, you are arguing technically, I am afraid. You are arguing technically. No, you have been quoted as saying the pilots have not. You are saying the pilots have not received
the legal square of this country.
No, I am asking you tonight. You are saying the pilots haven't received the High Court's order.
Written orders.
Yeah, so fine. Yes, allow me to complete. You are saying the pilots have not got the High Court's order, and hence the pilots continue to report sick. I mean, how ridiculous is this justification for not resuming work? Are you saying that once they receive the High Court order, they will get well and they won't report sick anymore?
That only tomorrow, once the written orders are in our hand, we will decide what the next
No, how do you decide whether somebody gets well? I mean, how do you decide? You get the written order and then your health improves.
Arnab, it is a part of our agitation. It is a part of our agitation.
I'm just pointing a factual inaccuracy. I'm pointing a factual inaccuracy because I think I said you're you're arguing technically. Now, how bad is the situation?
The situation is grim. I mean, we have a situation where passengers have no options. We have a situation where people have made holiday plans, people have paid in advance, people have made all kinds of arrangements for their holidays, and there is no way out because all the other flights are full, the Air India flights are cancelled, the passengers can't even get inside the airport because there is no room there. I mean, where do we go from here?
Disaster.
We need to understand that yes, there is probably an issue over here, but you cannot hold the travelling public to ransom. This is peak time. I mean, my members are also going crazy trying to cope with these cancellations and trying to find alternates to travellers. There are none. Okay. Where do we go from here?
Captain Mukaddam, I want you to answer all the passengers tonight. Do you hold any moral responsibility for what you are doing, or is it just that you want to travel first class? You want your time-bound promotions, you want to fly the Dreamliner, and you'll keep fussing, you'll keep saying we fall sick, till you get what you want.
Arnab, being on strike is not fun. While I'm sitting here talking to you, I have lost my job, 25 of my other colleagues have lost their jobs. Do you realize the stress that we and our families are going through?
So I'm sorry.
So understand one thing, we are not on this, let me finish Arnab, we are not on this agitation for fun. We have real, genuine grievances. The second point, as far as the passengers are concerned, you may not believe it or you may cut me short, but passengers are our highest and topmost priority. We worked for 5 months without getting paid. Please tell me somebody else who's willing to work without getting paid. For 5 months we've worked without getting paid simply out of our concern for the passengers, not to inconvenience them. But you cannot hold that against us now. That you will push us around, push us in a corner, simply with this issue of passengers.
Who is you? Who is you? The taxpayer. The taxpayer is the taxpayer. The Indian taxpayer is funding Air India. The Indian taxpayer is therefore directly or indirectly paying your salary.
I mean, if you didn't,
and then the Indian taxpayer goes to the airport with no notice. He loses his money. He doesn't take his flight, national or international.
No, I mean, tell me again.
Am I not a taxpayer? All pilots of Air India are taxpayers of India.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this tax money is also our money. Like anybody else,
but the
we
issue
have a right
is,
to ask questions
how does one expect the government to keep pumping in money when there is nothing happening over here, where the industrial relations are going from bad to worse? I mean, unless there is a viable turnaround plan, there's no money coming.
Pumping money is not...
So, yeah, but that is part of it. You need it to keep the airline going. Tausif, you need that money to keep the airline going. And the minister has actually said very clearly.
Do you know what happens
to the minister has said very clearly that if you do not get this thing together, there is going to be no money coming. Where do we go from here? I mean, then everybody's jobs, not only the pilots, everybody's jobs are at stake.
Let me give you two examples. Let me give you, if you allow me to speak, let me give you two examples of the gross wastage of money by Air India.
Now, I want to know from you how you are saving money for Air India. How you are saving money for Air India.
Let me make my point, Arnab.
No, my question is direct. You answer the question. Tausif, you answer the question. I have a direct question.
Arnab, you allow him to answer?
Yes, sure, but he has to answer the question. He has to answer the question. I'm asking him a question, and the question goes to you as well.
You made your question, Arnab. I've got your question.
No, you haven't. Let me ask you the question.
Let
me ask you the question. Please tell me. I'll just take 10 seconds if you allow me. Are you fighting for yourself or are you fighting for Air India? If you're fighting for yourself, please say it candidly tonight. We are fighting for pilots. Don't make it an issue of Air India. Why aren't you candid enough to say we are fighting for ourselves? What's the shame in that?
Absolutely none. Absolutely none. When I say I'm fighting for myself, there are larger issues here. Merger happened in 2007. We are in 2012. Please tell me, where is the merger policy of Air India? The biggest issue during any merger, not just Air India, you take Air France KLM, you take Canadian Airlines Air Canada, the biggest issue in any merger is an HR integration of the employees. But 5 years after the merger, you please tell me, where is the policy for merger?
There has to be a better way to handle this. I mean, you know, even the minister admitted today on the news on another channel that the merger was probably a bad idea. Fair enough. I think all of us have realized that the merger was a bad idea. But Mr. Awad, there has to be a better way of handling this.
1 minute.
I mean, going on strike is not the answer.
Gentlemen, Mr. Awad, let me say it today.
That is our genuine right. That is our constitutional right.
Mr. Awad, I'm sorry, under the Industrial Disputes Act 1947, what you are doing is illegal. It is patently illegal.
You know, Arnab, the legality of the strike will be decided by the court.
The legality will be decided in the court.
So we are in full compliance. We are in full compliance with the High Court order which prohibits us from going into the Air India premises, from holding demonstrations within 200 meters.
Tell me today, I have three issues. I have three issues I want to ask Jitendra Awad. There are three issues that I know.
Yeah.
One, we want career progression. We have to be allowed to fly this, this plane. By the way, this plane was paid for by taxpayer money. We want to fly this plane called the Dreamliner.
Can we ask the questions one at a time?
Three questions.
Can we have the questions one at a time?
One at a time? Okay, one at a time. First,
yes.
This is aren't you just clocking what is nothing but a petty race to fly the Dreamliner as a career progression issue? I mean, you want to fly the Dreamliner, you're having problems of HR integration, you're saying this group of pilots will fly the Dreamliner, we won't fly the Dreamliner. I mean, that's the first question. I mean, tell me today, it's your internal issue.
So let me answer your first question, Arnab.
Yes.
Let me answer your first
I was actually throwing that to Mr. Awad, but yes, go ahead.
Let me answer this question. It appears that your facts are not in order.
Carry on, Tasif, carry on.
We stated it yesterday, and I'm reiterating on your show. The issue at stake is not the Dreamliner. The Supreme Court has passed an order. We fully accept the order of the Honorable Supreme Court. There are other issues here.
And there
is an issue of discrimination. You see, the company is merged, but opportunities are denied to one section. What we're demanding is, since the company is merged, either give me a comprehensive policy. In absence of a policy, give me the same career prospects that my colleagues on the other side have.
But you're repeating what I said. You're repeating what I said, Jitendra. Tausif is repeating what I said. It is your internal issue. You want to fly the Dreamliner. It may be the most legitimate issue.
It is not about the Dreamliner. Arnab, again, I'm repeating myself.
It is not about the Dreamliner. You are misleading the facts and misleading the nation.
There are three things, Mr. Jitendra Awad, that I understand.
Passing on false information.
1 second, Mr. Awad, before you make these counter allegations.
You should also understand what the other side wants to say.
Well, let me tell you, there are no.
Understand what the other side is.
Arnab, let me ask you a simple question.
Mr. Jitendra Awad, the other side is on the show, so we are on the show.
I will ask you a simple question, Arnab.
Okay, go ahead.
Arnab, I'll ask you a simple question. Let me ask you a simple question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Arnab, all these pilots have been working in Air India without pay packets for last 5 months, and they don't mind working for another year. They did not cry, they did not come out on streets, didn't go on strike, didn't try to agitate, just because they were not paid salary. Will you tell me a single person who will mind this? Who will say, no packets, no pays? No, we will still work out. This is one issue. Now, when it comes to career...
One second, there is no logic followed
when you say
here.
that the merger has... One minute, let me finish it off.
Logical discordance in what you're saying.
Now, when it comes to merger... One minute.
Yeah.
When we talk of discrimination, I will just explain you in simple words and let the common man also understand it. Because common man doesn't understand all this, all the facts and technicalities. These two pilots joined the airlines on a day. One gets promotion in 6 years and other gets promoted in 10 years. Who will lag behind? Whose career will be demolished? The guy who will be promoted after 10 years.
Sorry, now here's a counterpoint.
What is the problem if you have a parity in the organization?
But why is
the
it
other
taking 7
when
years?
He wants salary
why is it taking 6 years?
Salary to the level of Air India, you give him the salary. When he wants all allowances, you give him. And when we ask for a promotion policy which is at a particular level, you deny.
Mr. Awad, who was the civil aviation minister? From which party was he when the merger was happening? I think he was from your party. I think his name is Praful Patel. He's from the NCP.
We are not talking about that.
No. I am simply pointing out that during the simple answer to your question. I
am asking you a cross question. The scenario has come up now.
Is it true that
we are facing a situation now?
Okay, now
not in 2007. We are facing it now.
You don't want to answer that counter question, but the point is, you see, when the merger happened, Air India wanted the merger with Indian Airlines. Now there is a reluctance to share the training programs with the pilots from the erstwhile Indian Airlines. Every merger, 1 minute. One minute, Mr. Awad. 1 minute, Mr. Awad. Every merger. Mr. Awad, will you allow me? Every merger comes at a cost. You see, you ask anybody who understands the way mergers work. Every merger comes at a cost. You can't hold the nation to ransom over something, I'm sorry, as small.
We are not
issues of flying the HR integration and flying the Dreamliner.
When we were not paid for our perspiration, we would have gone on strike.
Yes, but
we worked. We worked for 6 months without
Mr. Awad,
now also we are out.
What is it that has precipitated?
But we are not
let's come down to this. What is it that has precipitated this strike when for 5 months pilots have flown without salaries? What is it that has precipitated this strike now?
We don't mind going ahead. See, the basic
so why are we not going ahead? Why are we not operating flights? There's got to be a reason. I mean, if for 5 years this merger has carried on and you have had dialogues with the management, and pilots were not paid for 5 months and continued to fly, what is it that has precipitated the strike now?
Let him answer.
Because now if I can answer
I can tell you,
without a policy in place, the management is taking arbitrary decisions which will ruin the careers of young pilots for the next 20 to 25 years. Let me ask you a question, Arnab. Tomorrow, if a rival channel takes over your channel and denies you a promotion opportunity, how would you feel about it? Would you react or would you not react? Now, we've been trying to address these issues for the last 5 years. Without addressing these issues, the management is now taking arbitrary and ad hoc decisions. That is what the problem is over here.
You see,
the company needs to be held to account. Can they run the company like this?
No,
please tell me, 5 years since the merger, where is a merger policy?
I am simply asking both of you tonight, gentlemen, I am asking you tonight because tonight you are in a position to determine whether a lot of thousands of Indians are going to get their flights tomorrow.